Her first new task will be to tackle the energy crisis that the UK is facing. It's thought the new government is poised to make an announcement as soon as Thursday with a set of measures to manage rising costs. It is a crisis that is being felt across the UK, from individual households to small businesses. I can promise you this is the one thing that everybody in this country is talking about, the amount of their bills. Speaking to the BBC, brewery bosses have said that pubs across the UK could close, or their costs could soar by as much as 300%. To find out more about how the hospitality industry is coping, we spoke to three business owners a little earlier. Anne Hughes runs a pub in Grendon, Northamptonshire. Lauren Morse owns a zero food waste shop in Cwmbran in South Wales. And Nisha Popat owns a vegetarian restaurant in Leicester. I began by asking Anne, I should say, to talk me through her current situation.
The business is tough. It's tough for everybody. I think we'll all agree there. My electric has gone up. Well, it's going up from 8,000 to 10,000, then on to 14, 16,000. That's what I've been told. Possibly next year up to 30. That's possibly what it could rise to. That sounds impossible for me to keep this business going if that is the case. At the moment, I work 70 odd hours a week now. That's not including doing all the other bits I have to do, accounting and all of that. That's just literally working in the pub so that, we can afford to pay for the bills going up.
And when do you get a break?
We don't at the moment. Yeah. And all we can do, literally, this is the only way that I can think of it, is that at the moment, we're not going to make any profit. We're going to ride the storm for 6 months and then see where the land lies. I have actually got a holiday booked next week. Whether I go or not, that's another matter. My staff are fantastic and they're saying, please go. You don't ever have any time off. But I've got to pay everyone. So that's going to be double for me to pay out. So to get a break, I'm going to be skinned, basically.
Let's bring in Lauren Morse, who runs the zero waste food shop in Cwmbran in South Wales. Lauren, listening to what Anne was detailing there about the amount she works and the amount her bills are going up, did any of that ring a bell?
Well, yes, the working hours when you work for yourself, it's just crazy. I don't think I ever stopped working. I've got 2 young children. I pick them up from school, and as soon as I get home and back on the laptop, this extra stress of rising costs, rising energy prices, when you feel like it's still out of control, I feel like whatever they announce today or in a couple of days, it doesn't stop the worry that we've had all summer of not knowing what's coming, and it's not fair. I won't forget the worry that I've been through.
Lauren, tell me about that worry, what that feels like on a day-to-day basis.
I've got low energy usage. We are a zero waste shop, so we don't have the high energy uses of a restaurant and a pub and things like that. But it's still, when you look at the standing charge, I've literally this morning looked at what we've been paying on our standing charge. This time last year, we were paying £2 a week for our standing charge. We're currently paying £3.71, and I cannot find out what it's going to be in October. I can't find anywhere what our standing charge is going to be in October. And it's 3 weeks away. Let's bring in Nisha Popat in Leicester. You run a vegetarian restaurant on the Golden Mile in Leicester. How's business for you, Nisha, with rising energy prices?
It's just been really tough. Everything's gone up in terms of energy costs, but things like oil prices, everything from cheese to vegetables, we're paying so much more than we were. Every time I go to the market, things have gone up, and you kind of think, okay, you tot up at the end of the day, and you think, okay, how do we keep this going? At the moment, all you're doing is doing as many hours as you can to keep the costs low, to the extent that you think this can't be sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, and we can't forget that we are already in a hospitality recession. We've been in that hospitality recession for months and months and months coming out of COVID. So we've been hit massively there. We didn't get the help that we wanted then. We did get some grants, but the grants barely covered my rent. So we're dealing with that, and now we're dealing with the energy prices. It's just so tough. It's so tough.
Yeah, totally agree, Anne. I mean, we've never gone back taking wise after COVID to what we used to do. And unfortunately for us, we'd had a fire the year before COVID, so we just reopened in November and then we were closed again in March.
Yeah, when is it going to stop? I mean, it's just one thing after another now, and we just don't seem to get any help. The bigger companies, they can survive. They can swallow a lot of that cost because they've got the power to go to their suppliers and hound them down. I've got a pub sitting here. I can't go to my supplier and say, I want you to take £100 off my wine bill or my food bill or whatever, because they're struggling as well. I'm literally fighting to keep this open.
Lauren, in Wales, what do you need? What kind of help do you need for your business to get by?
I need reassurance that energy prices are going to stabilise. But of course, that runs through to our customers. I need the domestic prices to also stabilise. So our customers have got money to come and spend with us. Whatever they do, I'm not going to forget the worry that we've had this summer.
Turning to Nisha in Leicester, what kind of help do you believe the new government, led by Liz Truss, should extend to you and your business?
I feel definitely around stabilising energy prices, but stabilising prices generally, inflation is running really high at the moment. And that goes for us, obviously, as a business, but it also goes to our customers, because unless people are able to come out and, they have the money to come out, they're not going to be going to pubs or restaurants. And I think that's really critical for small businesses to survive.
And Hughes in Northamptonshire, looking at the kind of help that would get you by?
I think the government needs to meet with the energy suppliers. We've got to have it capped much less. And then the government need to really look at other ways. We've got to use solar. We've got to go down that route. We have to, because this is just never going to stop. It's going to get worse, I believe. So for the customers as well, like Lauren said, the customers can't afford to come out. I walked up the road the other day and there's families in their gardens, which is lovely to hear, but normally they would be down with us.
Yeah, you don't need them in their gardens, you need them in your gardens.
Exactly. They would be coming for a drink, but they just can't afford it, And I'm talking to them saying, look, please just come down for one. And I put posts out there saying, one drink, one coffee, one tea, it all helps. It all helps. And it helps for people as well, because we're community hubs. We all talk to people on a daily basis and we all meet people that have got mental health problems. COVID has made people stay in their houses. So for them to come out and talk to somebody, it might save their life. I've had that recently where I've walked somebody up the road because they're really down because of the operation that they're having the next day. And I've come out of the pub and I've walked them up the road, because that's what we do with community hubs. And if they all close because we can't afford it, then that's what is the country going to come to then?
Yeah.
Lauren, you've heard of the conversations that Anne has with people who are her customers or who used to be Anne's customers. What kind of conversations, Lauren, do you have with people who come into your waste shop?
We're very active on social media, and we actually had a viral post a couple of months ago where I said, talk to us, please, don't sit there on your own, come into the shop. I've said already, this winter the shop will be warm, whether I don't take any money home that week because I've put the heating on, the shop will be warm for people to come into.
I've done the same.
Yeah.
Let's go to Nisha in Leicester. Nisha, I wonder, in the last month or so, have you seen a drop in customers?
We've seen a drop in our regular customers, the ones who live in Leicester. So yes, we have seen a drop, and we think it's down to the fact that, people are struggling to afford to come in.